feminines, do you prefer the guy to ask before kissing you? Or should he be able to read the moment and do it on his own? Does asking kill the mood? Be able to read the moment, asking kinda kills it for me, but if the alternative is the guy losing his mind over it, I'd rather have him ask me. Yes, asking kills the mood. Not asking is practically rape in this political climate though. You have to ask because even if it's videotaped and the girl is moaning and rolling in pleasure, unless you specifically asked for confirmation, it's rape. Sexual alt if she changes her mind lster. Don't ask, tell. Put your arms around her and say, I am going to kiss you now. This gives her a chance to say no if she doesn't want, but also you're taking the initiative. It's a win-win. I'm trying to imagine at 250 pounds this place ought is saying, quote, I'm going to use tongue this time, female. If she doesn't say anything, that is not an invitation legally. This guy is probably a district attorney trying to get some rape convictions on his record. If it's our first times kissing, I guess I'd like for him to indicate it beforehand. Doesn't have to be verbal, just a show of intent, like moving in closer or touching gently. Just a little window to let me prepare a little, or decline if necessary. Obvious this only works if I actually like him and we've been together a little while. You need some awareness of whether or not kissing is appropriate at all before you start thinking about how to do it, but if we've had some experience and he knows me well enough to know when I'm open, I don't mind if he just goes for it. If it fits the setting and mood, then go for it without asking. Quote, there are men who unironically think you should ask first, Jesus. Nothing wrong with it. Blame the B***s who get creeped at by everything and accuse men of rape. Learn to read the situation and the other person. 99.9% of the time it will be crystal clear when it's appropriate and wanted to kiss a girl. Doesn't mean you can't ask. I asked my first GF if she wants to kiss, and that's how I got my first kiss, but yet most B***s probably get turned off if you ask and display any weaknesses, insecurities. Actually, I think it could be kind of cute and endearing, personally, but yeah, it's definitely not assertive. You shouldn't just kiss someone without the permission. It isn't a very nice thing to do and is sexual harass meant. I blame this no is no and yes is sometimes no culture. Women in future generations will need to get used to explicit verbal demands if this continues like this. Quote, women in future generations will need to get used to explicit verbal demands if this continues like this. Well, that would make things easier and sounds like a simple solution to AMS*I've problem. You have to ask and have her sign a consent form notarized by your local judge. Then have it filled and witnessed by at least 5 other people. Try for at least 60% of them to be women. That will lower their chances of rape allegation to a manageable 95%. Thank me later. I always ask when I see the faces lighting up. You can immediately see it kills it for them and they don't enjoy the following kiss. Making women uncomfortable and upset is one of life's very few pleasures. Chat. Quote, 22,055,870. Just don't mention it unless he asks. Personally, I think it's bad I mean, how would you feel about a guy who plays Magic the Gathering, collects gunpla and makes teddy beats? If you're not, then it's kind of hypocritical. The difference is that MTG and gunpla are not pseudoscience. Being interested in the occult and supernatural is fine, but actually believing in it is the sign of someone who is either very naive or has a poor grasp on reality. Card games and plastic models exist, sorcery and witchcraft do not. Well yeah, I was more talking about if a guy had weird hobbies. A lot of girls I know don't like that. Doing the occult stuff for fun is okay. Quote, sorcery and witchcraft do not. Are you sure? Emo girls are very magical. This S** is so F** in cringe. I think you mean based and emo pilled. Quote, don't get to see girlfriend due to social distancing, still have to go to work while others get to stay home with comfy government handouts. Work has become 5x more of a pain in the ass asterisk because of MUH sanitization. I am going to be effing pissed if I don't get coronavirus and have to deal with all this S for nothing. Maybe you have it and you're just asymptomatic. 3. Will you marry me? C. A woman can literally have a stranger that's never even met, seen her, nor talked to her. Meanwhile, the average non-chat could ask a woman to do one jumping J asterisk to stop the Mexican cartel from cutting off his head, and she would just call him a creep. Pics. Guys, what would you think if you found out the girl you're dating dabbled in esotericism and the divinatory arts among other hobbies? Should I keep it a secret at first or be transparent about it from the start? You're not some traditionalist, are you? Am I a bad person to refuse to date a girl who does drugs and smokes? Sounds awesome. You could curse my old high school bullies. No. Quote, am I a bad person to refuse to date a girl who does drugs and smokes? No. You're a bad person if you're an S asterisk hole about it. Same as I'd think if I learned she was into holistic medicine or believed in horoscope stuff that she's the type to believe in made-up stuff due to feels over rational logic. It wouldn't be a deal breaker if we otherwise clicked. Depends if it was just an interest or if you full-on believed in it, though I believe you shouldn't have to mask your hobbies around people you're dating. Depends, but you probably should tell him if it's important for you. This sounds like the kind of thing men tolerate more on women than women on men. Be prepared for him to be a bit condescending, but also know that he will probably not share this kind of horoscope stuff if you don't at first because it's not considered manly. Sounds like some red white woman S. I'd immediately drop her. This is why you're single. I'm single because I hate women and hope they all die horrific deaths. Girls, how many past partners is too many for a potential boyfriend? I'll give you an overly complicated answer. The first factor I'd consider is age and my own experience. When I was 15 and virgin, I was looking for someone who was virgin himself or had at most one partner. Now that I'm 27 and had a couple of long-term relationships, I'd like someone who has a similar partner count and experience and would prefer not dating a virgin. The second factor is the context of the body count. In a way, the last time I **ingle I was 24. I was dating guys around my age or a little older, 23 to 28. My preference would have been to date a guy who had some sexual experience but only inside long-term relationships, and a body count around 2 to 3. To be realistic though, I looked for people who weren't actively looking for casual sex, and with a body count of less than 10-ish. The third factor is the person I'm talking to and how well we mesh together. While having casual sex or looking for it around the time we were dating would have been a deal breaker because we clearly have different values and feelings about sex, I'm more flexible on body count because I believe that if you **ed around at 19, you might be a different person 10 years later. It is a red flag though. Green flags are long-term relationships with women you don't refer to as crazy or slut, low body count, and in general just having had sex with your long-term girlfriends. TLDR, I don't care as long as he's Chad. Chill. I just said exactly the opposite. I really do not want someone who **s around. Whatever makes you feel good about yourself, my friend. Not your friend. See, Chad doesn't have to slay P. Chad just has to be attractive and desirable. He can even be a virgin voluntarily. So that's why I said your long ** paragraph is just code for he has to be Chad. Chill. I think statistics are kind of stupid when it comes to finding a long-term partner. Maybe they can give you a boost in terms of what makes many women attracted to you superficially, but if you want something serious, you're looking for one specific person, and you want him to fit well with who you actually are. Girls, do you like to swallow? If it's Chad, of course, any other guy. Gross, I don't do that. **ing misogynistic pig. This is why I hate men. 8/10 and on. Why are you incapable of keeping Chad's creamy semen out of your mind? Is there something you need to share with the CLS asterisk? Quote, is there something you need to share with the CLS asterisk? Thank you for asking. I hate women. I dunno, man, seems like you think about Chad's thundercock more than they do. Everyone else in quarantine. I can't let these hoes forget how much I despise them. I point out their logical fallacies and double standards. In return, they get mad and further deny reality. Chad always wins. I'm just here to keep everything honest. Quote, just pointing out reality. You don't know anything about reality. You spend the entire day asterisk posting on a Chilean embroidery forum. Is a biologist a zoophile because he's often thinking of animal mating trends throughout evolution? He sure is if he thinks about it even half as much as you think about Chad's D asterisk. I'm a scholar of the human condition. I'm doubtful you even finished high school and the sexual selection factors. I, too, cannot believe people have standards. By the way, how is your crippled obese *ed girlfriend doing? You wouldn't be a hypocrite, would you? Actual God honest stats about me. Quote, 6 feet 3 inches, workout 5 days a week, NCAA D1 track athlete, BSc in computer science, minor in neurology, 26 years old, $90,000 United States dollars annual salary, approximately 10 to 30k off dividends and random crypto, 0 parental distance, worked in Netherlands and Japan for a year each, social autism, hated by every woman I've ever met because I'm not Chad. Now keep making assumptions about me. A myth Chad who beats his girlfriend to death has more success with women than me and people like me. This is why I say that I'm merely observing reality. Can't imagine how boring you must be. You're just so perfect that it can't possibly be your fault. Look, here's a list of my accomplishments. Why don't you love me? I know, it must be somebody else's fault. Definitely doesn't have anything to do with your inability to accept any faults or unwillingness to fix them. Blaming other people is easy. My only fault is not being Chad. I literally admitted to social autism. You can have your garbage board back when quarantine ends. Just don't forget the truth I have imparted. You have many faults, you're just refusing to accept him because coping by blaming Chad is easier on your sad little mind. You're setting up a villain that doesn't exist and blaming all of your problems on it. So desperate to be the victim. I know I have my many faults, but my faults have nothing to do with the reality of the world. Ted Bundy was a Chad who killed many women. Even in prison, he has more women lusting for his D** than some normal, hard-working and non-serial killer guy in the real world. Looks determine everything in this life. A few nanometers of DNA and a slight change in nucleotide sequence can determine a man's life. With absolutely no input of his own, his fate is all but sealed at the moment of conception. Hey look, you're blaming other people for your problems again. Let's not focus on my faults. Look at this guy. But what about him? Stop it. You're acting like a goddamn child. If you could get a sense of what's wrong with you, rather than pointing fingers at what's wrong with everyone else, you might actually stand a chance. The main thing wrong with me is that I'm not Chad. If I was Chad, I could kill, rape, maim, decapitate, extort, harass asterisk, and be a rotten, filthy, evil human being, but still be desirable to women. You constantly refuse reality and accusing me of comparing myself. We live in a relative universe. You're the only one refusing reality here. You're painting a picture and calling it reality so you can complain about how horrible it is. You know that isn't how the world works, but you're desperately clinging to it anyways. Why do you force your brain through these mental gymnastics so hard? Wouldn't it be easier to just accept that you're the problem? Or is your mind so weak that it would shatter if the world doesn't revolve around the imaginary villains you've created to put you down? Quote, imaginary villains. Ted Bundy is imaginary. Adolf Hitler, Stalin, Genghis Khan, the myth head that killed his wife last night. Every Chad that gets away with rape, murdering, and dishonesty. Those are imaginary. The blue pill is strong in this one. Ah yes, I'm sure those specific men are stealing literally every woman you've ever tried to get with. Quite the opposite. Nobody is stealing women. Women have all the control in the dating market. They repeatedly choose CHD irregardless of his other qualities. And your proof of this is where? How about the hideous men I see with above-average women on the daily? Are those just chads in disguise? Quote, how about the hideous men I see with above-average women on the daily? Are those just chads in disguise? Outliers, anecdotes, and extremely rare exceptions. 0.99% of these occur because 1. The woman is done riding the C** carousel and settling down for beta bucks and a father to her B** children. 2. The guy has a lot of money. Ah yes, of course. Anything that opposes your conspiracy is just lies and slander. The gyno Illuminati is out to get your money. It almost like women don't care about money or being tall. You sound too angry. Also maybe go for fat chicks. Anyone can get them. 5 feet 9 inches, receding hairline, I'm overweight and have had sex, so I don't think appearance is your problem. Maybe spend less time on pol. Fat women are men. No double standards, are simply subhuman. Gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins for a reason. I'm not going to settle for some red whale that inhales burgers while I'm busting my ass at the gym. Quote, I'm not going to settle. Why won't women settle for me? Not him, but the problem is that fat B** S can still get chads, but you don't see any fat guys nor average ugly guys getting Stacy's. Women unironically deserve death and all the abuse they get. Quote, but you don't see any fat guys nor average ugly guys getting Stacy's. Hot girls with average guy. I do, all the time. Definitely not him. Quote, fat B** S can still get chads. Wow, almost like standards aren't consistent or something. You don't see any fat guys nor average ugly guys getting Stacy's. Yes I do. I actually go outside. I see that S** like 5 times a day. Quote, women unironically deserve death and all the abuse they get. We're reaching based levels that shouldn't be possible. Why do you need P* so badly? It's not like you want a girlfriend or something. What do you think will happen once you're not a virgin? Not him, but the problem is that fat B** S can still get chads, but you don't see any fat guys nor average ugly guys getting Stacy's. Women unironically deserve death and all the abuse they get. Not gay. Quote, not gay not yet. That's why I said try. Quote, not gay. Have you heard of traps? Try men. Not him, but the problem is that fat B** S can still get chads, but you don't see any fat guys nor average ugly guys getting Stacy's. Women unironically deserve death and all the abuse they get. Not gay. Quote, I hate women goes to one of the few threads almost guaranteed to have women brew. Of course, where else is he going to be asterisk and moan all day? Everyone else in quarantine. I can't let these hoes forget how much I despise them. I point out their logical fallacies and double standards. In return, they get mad and further deny reality. Chad always wins. I'm just here to keep everything honest. Quote, you're chill. Quote, when the local females find out you protect them from insults on the internet, officially Chad now. Later losers.